Guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be playing, well, not playing, we're going to be making a, America's World War thing, expanding on the series, got a better map, learned the tools better, I spent some time working on other stuff, and now we're here. I started making the allies, but then I realized, hey, we should probably wait for the video to do this, you know what I mean? So I made the United States and Canada an ally, and this is just gonna be like a war, but like everybody's not gonna be in it from the beginning, you know what I mean? So I think since the first thing that would happen, you know what we should do? Let's do this. Let's make, wait, I think I have it in previous changes. Yeah, let's just make Canada its own thing. Yeah, we'll just do it free for all, but we'll have allies in later if that makes any sense. So I think we're gonna start with the United States, obviously. And I feel like the first thing that they would do would be to invade Cuba, I feel like that's just so possible, like from Key West, which is here. It's not on the map, but it'd be like 90 miles. It's like really easy. They could probably just land right here in Havana and take to the city with ease. And since they're the aggressors, there wouldn't be much time for Cuba to prepare, so they could probably launch an attack this way and take out most of this. But I feel like Cuba would easily give it a minute, and they would come back and recapture the city and take out all of the rest. Oh, that looks... Oh, what happened here? Okay, that's weird. Yeah, it's a bit glitchy, see? That's okay. Because I feel like America wouldn't be prepared enough, They would, underestimate Cuba. So they launch another attack, recapture the city. But this time with more troops, sending them first this way. Capturing any cities around here. I'm not super familiar on Cuba, so I don't really know. But I feel like the Cuban government, would try to push back. There'd be a stalemate about here, and they would try to draft more people, but the citizens would revolt, the Cuban citizens aren't, it's not super stable there, so I feel like it'd fall, and then, the Cuban government would fall, and then America would just take over and, place in a new government, pro-American, So it's basically America, but not. And then I'd feel like, since they're in the area, I feel like they'd go for some Central American countries, which one that we're not super into? Maybe Colombia, because maybe we don't like drug dealers, you know what I mean? Go in there. Shots firing, land in about here. I'm not super familiar with Colombia, so I don't really know where the cities are. So they land in here. Wait, let's fix this, because this color is messed up. Let's make them that. Or we'll go that. Does that look any better? Make orange. Sure. I feel like we would push in here, right? We'd take over some of these areas. Once again, without them really being able to get time to get set up, creating a little encirclement and taking it out with little resistance, But then they would come back, with full force and decimate the incoming army. It's a bit glitchy, but okay. Then they would, get decimated pretty much. And with that, I feel like they would ally with someone like Venezuela. Is that possible? I feel like that's possible. Like an easy alliance here. And then with the two of them, the power of two of them, I feel like they would land Puerto Rico, easy take, and start to take over Cuba, but be met with a stalemate where it would sit for a while. And then Mexico, realizing, hey, this might be a good opportunity to start invading for no reason. I don't know why. But maybe they'd go in, guns blazing, go for Houston over here, and take over pretty much all of Texas with extreme force, take back their early claims, and then go up California and take out all of California, which I feel like would be met with heavy resistance, but for simplicity purposes, we'll just pretend. Then I feel like America, other people in Texas with guns would probably just take them all out anyway, and then start pushing down here towards Mexico City, capturing Mexico City, and all the Californians we'd send our military over here, not we, but America would send their military over here, take out the rest of California, and start going down Baja California, is that how to say it? Down here, and taking out all of that. Meanwhile, still being met with heavy resistance here, and being pushed back a little bit from Venezuela and Colombia. But then Mexico would prepare times in their lower areas and drafting. They would be able to push back up, knocking the invading American forces out of their land and taking them away from Mexico City and pushing them back this way and taking Texas back. And I don't know. I'm trying to think. What should we do next? How about we have a alliance of the Central American states to fend off from any incoming attacks, getting prepared for war. And with this, America would come back once again, removing all their forces from everywhere else and just focusing their full attack to gain back their land and sending them down Mexico, capturing Mexico City, and taking out the rest of the country with ease, with their full force. And from here, they would send their troops from here to here, taking out all of Cuba in a subtle, quick sweep. And also taking Puerto Rico back. What now? Realizing that their neighbor has just been taken down, want some revenge so they can restate Mexico as a country. They start to invade up here, through this area, and up, just going for the coastline. Like this. And creating an encirclement here. And here. Because I feel like most of the forces would be set here to prepare for an invasion on Venezuela and Colombia. And with that, stalemate here, but they wouldn't have enough resources, so they would send the rest of their troops in, annihilating those areas and taking Mexico back. Which would be, once again, reinstated, but would become part of the alliance. And with the power of these these bunch of countries combined, I feel like they would push in this way for easy takes, take out all of Cuba, but not be able to take out Puerto Rico. And then they would, I don't know, why not? They would start heading down to Venezuela, capturing some coastline here and here, but not being able to progress farther. America would then, once again, send in full power. Here, launch a nuke in Mexico City, Guatemala City, and Nicaragua here. And with that, most of the country would probably be decimated by then, but hey, why not? They would invade with lots of infantry and tanks, taking out the rest of the country and the alliance. Like so. And then Canada realizing, hey, why not? With America down here, with focusing their forces here, they could take Maine and push them down to New York City down here and start the advance into Michigan, taking out Michigan with ease, and sending troops down here, encircling, taking out Washington and Wisconsin. America would probably take their forces, split their forces in half, send them here, here, and here, but would take them a while, so Canada would get farther and farther, even taking their capital, getting farther and farther and farther, until they pretty much took most of the northern part of the country. But by the time that had happened, America would revert their military back up here, take back New York and DC, and start the advance towards Maine, encircling this area and taking it out, securing New York and sending them up Washington to secure some of the larger cities. And then sending some encirclements here, lots of encirclements here, because why not? I'm not very realistic, but, why not? Just having fun. And then they would start the advance to connect Alaska with Alaskan troops, send here, and just pretty much take out most of this area with ease, as there's no one living here and pretty much no contest. Taking out pretty much all the northern bits, and even creating a landing here and sending them down. Canada would avert some of their troops up this way to send them to the more habitable zones in here, as there might be some people that live here, and not advancing anymore and creating a stalemate along these borders, because there isn't enough Alaskan troops, and even pushing them back in some areas. America would continue the advance, encircling more territories and capturing Detroit and Toledo back, and pushing up from London to what's it called? Well, I forget what the city is called, and taking out Ottawa. And once they did this, they pretty much secured a victory with 3 of their major cities under control. This one, and this one. They would further the advance and take out the rest of Canada. No bias, no bias, no bias. I have no bias at all. Definitely no bias. But with the military here holding the lines on the Alaskan front where they're pushing in, they would get pushed back, taking back most of their mainland, not the islands, but the mainland, and pushing into Anchorage over here, and taking all of the Alaskan cities with ease, and even pushing down towards here, which there's a city here, I don't know what it's called, and pushing all the way towards Nome. But America would finally reach all its troops up here and would take it all back. Okay, now let's go back in time. Let's say while America was invading up here, Venezuela and Colombia would push in, taking out all of their northern countries. And after all the fighting was done, they had already pushed back to Guatemala City, and America would revert their forces down here and pushed them back, ending in a stalemate right at the Panama Canal, which is here. And there would be a stalemate just right here with pretty much most of the American forces on the line. Brazil, seeing this opportunity, would, be Brazil. Not take back, but advance into Venezuela and Colombia, taking out large sections. Venezuela and Colombia would split their forces, put a line here, trench in, and sit. America, with the split forces, noticing the split forces, they push back in, taking the coastline, blocking them out from any trades. And Brazil would push in, and America would push in, until there was just this left, where Brazil pushed in the middle and took this half, and America pushed in here and took this half. creating a pretty much flattened Venezuela and Colombia, but hey, still there. Seeing all the fuss, the rest of the countries would unite in a united front to prevent further expansion from America and Brazil. They would push into Brazil first, taking the southern cities with the help of Argentina and Chile, and Paraguay and Uruguay, taking the southern front, and with Peru they would take the western front. With most of their forces here focused on the border, as it just, they just took all of that. They would start to revert their forces down, but by then they had already taken most of the countries and most of the country and took all of the coastline, leaving them pretty much helpless, which then they would do lots of encirclements with the last of the Brazilian forces in these areas, which was like nothing. It wasn't really hard. With no supply, they just decimated these areas with bombs and other equipment, taking out Brazil. But the Brazilian army, would still be there. They push back, entrench here, and sit with the split army on here and here. Still wary about America, which they should have been, which they were, and it was a good thing they were. They pushed in America, taking out the entrenched forces and pushing down farther. Until the rest of the unified Americas would push up. Hello.